Uh, we've got Jaco Eckley here, Stellenbosch, Marinus from Potchefstroom, my brother.
Hello.
Kevin Isaacs, you are there. Otniel Juster. Welcome, Hendry Harmse. Is it Jazz or Yes?
Yes.
And we've got Tony Clark and Jan de Jager, Elias. We've got Elias' iPhone there. Francois from Pretoria. Welcome. And we've got Lisa, Vetu, Nel, Gerard, Andre, Carol, Gary, George, Paul, Zine, Nick, Lizel, and Ronald, Melody, Jimmy, and Luke Kroneman. There's a lot of people, Bernard. So. All right. Can I just ask for everybody if we can just mute Kevin Isaacs, Anton, Ian Kap, Werner Nel, Louisa van der Kerk. There's so many people that I don't know, but welcome to the Stellenbosch Crypto Hub. If you can just all mute your microphone. Okay, thank you very much. Guys, just from my side, it's Usher. We started the Stellenbosch Crypto Hub in about, I think, 3.5, 4 years ago. I've been involved in a lot of different ventures. My background more is I'm in the property and developer in the retail space of property, and also I've got a company called Bell Events where we organize sound, lighting, stage.
Yeah. No, it's definitely something that you have to grow with. Like, it must be very...
Hey, hello. Can you just mute yourself there, please? Right. So I've been in the events industry and also in the crypto industry for the past 5 years. I bought my first Bitcoin, I think, when it was about $600, $700. And I get it out of my house bond, which you are not allowed to do. So in any case, just quickly hold. That's it. And so I started with MTI. I started with MTI on the 6th of October last year, and being involved for a short time in a COO position, and I've seen to the compliance or the process and the starting of the process of compliance. So interesting with MTI that we are in two very
Asha, can you maybe ask Mathilda? She can mute all.
Yeah.
I think the person
pay or they pay us, and we offset that.
And Asha, just unmute yourself.
That's it. Thank you very much. I don't know who have heard anything that I've said, but started with MTI last year in October month, and being involved ever since. Seeing this as I was part of the compliance and starting the process of compliance and corporate governance of MTI itself. Just before I introduce our guest, we must understand that the industry that we're on, and Pete can help me and correct me, the industry that we are in is the first kind of industry. Apart from that, it's your personal, it's a business and an online business. We are sitting in the industry of called the internet, which is very, if I say volatile, which is very unregulated, the internet, in which I believe 95% everything on the internet is a scam. Not only talking of network marketing schemes, but specifically on the internet itself. I don't know who of you have received emails of that somebody has died and you're going to inherit so much and so much money, all that kind of scams that's on the internet itself, and which MTI are not. MTI will right a lot of wrongs, especially also with a vision statement of we are here to alleviate poverty, and we are here to be there for the little man in the street. So just those two statements from MTI will cause war, because and also obviously also the jealousy intended towards the company itself. But then we sit in the other quadrant, but the business sector that we are in, which is very if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose a lot of money, is the Forex industry itself. The Forex industry is a $6 trillion a day industry. I'm actually Afrikaans, I'm trying to think, I'm thinking Afrikaans, I'm trying to speak in English, but it's a very volatile industry. It's a very dangerous industry if you don't know what you're doing. And only apparently if you're in the top 5% that you are making money. If you're 95% people trying to do Forex and trading is losing money. So it's two high risks where we are, the internet, and how to navigate yourself through it. You need to know what you're doing, and it's all about your name and your integrity. And the other industry is the Forex, so which is highly high risk as well. So in the Forex industry, we do have MTI that's taking the lead. That's why we don't have to do it ourselves. As well as then on the internet side, we have meetings like this so that we can guide one another and know what, and can distinguish between what is true and what is false. And today we have Pete Muller. He's from Durban. Pete has been a trader himself for 8 years in the Forex industry, but he will introduce himself. And Pete is also very much involved in training of leaders, also with MTI and with his own team. I've met Pete when we started out in the leadership position of MTI. Pete is also, because of being a trader, also did his research on, it's a navorsing gedoen, specifiek ook oor MTI and the trading platform and the legitimacy thereof. So Pete, very welcome. Pete is going to give us just an introduction. I'm going to ask him a few questions. And after we're done with Pete, I'm just going to give us a few pointers, guys. There's so many voices in the desert of the crypto space that I just want to give you a few pointers that na wie luister ek, you know, who do I listen to? Who's my mentors on trading platforms and in the crypto industry itself? So I'm excited to give all that information to you. But first over to Pete. So Pete, give us a little bit of a background and just a short testimony and how have you started, and then we'll fire away with all the other questions regarding MTI.
Okay, awesome. Oh, thank you, Usher. First, I just want to thank you for who you are and for your integrity. And I'll never forget that call. I don't know, it was about 3 months ago, and the first time I'd actually spoken to you, I hadn't even seen you yet. And you just put what I already knew, it actually helped me to realize where we're at with MTI and this incredible opportunity that we have. So yeah, I'm honored to be on this call. My name is Pete Muller. I'm 56. I'm married, 4 children. I've lived in Durban for all my life. And as Usher mentioned, I've traded Forex for 8 years. I've traded cryptocurrencies as well, trading on the Forex market and trading on the cryptocurrency exchanges. There's two very, very different things. They're both very, very difficult.
Sorry, Pete, let's just...
It's fine. If you can just mute all again.
Mute allemaal weer.
Thank you. Yeah, so I have got experience in the game, and I've been an entrepreneur for 23 odd years. I've had my own company. I went online about 7 years ago, basically purely just because living in South Africa, always looked at the different opportunities of earning outside the Rand. I got a very good friend of mine, Lawrence Horsbrook, who's been online for 16 years. He's 40 years. He's 16 years my junior. He's very, very wealthy, very successful online. He's traded Forex for 12 years. So the past 6 or 7 years, him and I have traded together a lot. But as Usher mentioned, for those of you on this call, you might find there's quite a few of you who actually trade here. It's a very, very difficult space to be in. So you can make a lot of money, but overnight you can actually lose a pile. I mean, literally I lost millions last year in a short space of time. You know, I'd made a lot and then all of a sudden you get smashed. So with that being said, all the different opportunities I've tried to get into online, my last one being when I was asked to be a ambassador for South Africa for 2 Austrian senators, pretty much similar to MTI. The difference was that they were accepting fiat payments. So we had 30 million euros invested as a conglomerate in South Africa. You know, they were accepting fiat payments. So the authorities got hold of them, and they promised me that they had a bank license, which they didn't. They were actually lying. They had the documentations which were fraudulent. It's a long story, but at the end of the day, all the bank accounts were frozen. And I've been in lawsuits, or not in lawsuits, but with Czechoslovakian police. I've had hours and hours of interviews like this, getting to a point now where they're putting a fraudulent case together to go to court.
Nike, maak vir my maar die gordyne toe.
Sorry, Anne, if you could just mute yourself, please. So anyway, the end of that was in 2018. So 2019, I didn't do anything. You know, fortunately, I had quite a lot of property. I was living off the rental income and whatever you. But you know, all I try to do is help people, other people as well, get to opportunities where they could actually make some money. So we would find some that would make money, but in the day, most people lost money. And then my family, or especially my wife's family, they were starting to say things that weren't nasty, but they were basically saying, "Hey, Pete, it's time to give up all this online nonsense." So when Gerard came to me last year in November, I still remember it clearly. It was the end of November. We met at a coffee shop across the road here, and he mentioned this guy by the name of Ignatius Bell, who he was making these pretty good income from MTI. So it caught my attention. I thought, okay, well, Gerard, I don't really want to do anything more online, but I'll have a look at it for myself. And I did. And I just thank God that I did, because from then on, it's been an 8-month journey that's been totally life-changing. So at that time, I put $250 worth of Bitcoin in. And then soon after that, I increased my personal investment because I realized what MTI really were. By that time, I said to Gerard, please arrange, because Ignatius Bell, Usher's brother, had introduced Gerard, who introduced me. And I said to him, look, I need to have a call with the owner, Johan Steinberg, if I'm going to share this with anybody else. And at that time, there were 4,000 members, plus minus. And Johan was good enough to set up a Zoom call just like this. And straight away, I saw that there was something different about him. So then a relationship went further. Then I got hold of Johan and asked him if he would meet personally. So myself and Lawrence Harsbrook, this good friend of mine, we both flew up to Johannesburg, and Johan drove through, and we met in Johannesburg. But the interesting part about that meeting was in the morning, we met with a chartered accountant who my mate Lawrence Harsbrook had been dealing with to do with some other investment vehicles, just slightly different to the normal conventional ones, where you'd get 12 to 20% a year type returns. And at the end of that meeting, that chartered accountant said to us, listen, I've got these other 2 companies that I want to share with you. And the one was MTI. And without him knowing we were already involved, he said that they had done their full due diligence on Johan Steinberg himself, as well as the company, MTI, and they were now offering it to their clients as a vehicle. So for a chartered accountant to offer a vehicle like this, you know that you're on the right path. And then we met with Johan in the afternoon. And having been through what we have online, we knew what questions to ask him. And he was just so transparent. I mean, almost too transparent. And that's what we have found with Johan. He's always wanting to just show everything. He's just wanting to open the book so everybody can see what's going on, sometimes to his own detriment. But yeah, so we sat in that meeting. After that, Johan, it was a month or 2 later, we asked him if he'd please come down to Durban, which he did. He came along with Jaco, who's on this call, Ignatius Bell, George Beertke, who's a pastor from Pretoria, and Ignatius. Ignatius came down with his wife and his 3 kids, and we met. It was just before the lockdown. We had presentations with Johan, which I actually ran, and there were about 240 people that came through. And that was just the start of our relationship, and then a real solid sound relationship, because now I knew who we were dealing with, and it wasn't a one-man band anymore. And it wasn't too long after that Usher actually contacted me, and he spoke 90% Afrikaans, but I still picked it up because my older brothers in the Free State, and he also speaks fluent Afrikaans. But just the excitement and just the integrity and where Usher was coming from resounded with me. And I don't want to get spiritual on this call, but really I'm a born-again Christian, and I know Usher is, and that is something that just sets you apart. And from then I just knew that I've just been super excited. And yes, so I don't want to carry on too much, guys, but the reality is I know now that MTI is a sound, solid opportunity. I do know, like Usher said just now, when you're in a space like this, you're going to get attacked. And we've seen it happen already. Even internally, there's been a little bit of internal, not conflict, but there's different characters within the company. So obviously you're going to have that, but we all grow from it. We all learn and grow from it, which is great. And then the other side is the internet. So you're going to find that there are haters out there. There are people out there who want to market their own product. So they will try and move you from something like an MTI into their so-called better opportunity. And then they'll try and take the legs out from underneath MTI. And that's what you see. And just recently, some articles that have come out, and they're very easy to refute if you actually understand and and you've been in the space for a while. But there are many other people that don't actually see it. Straight away, they think, oh, no, MTI is another scam. But if you read between the lines, I mean, literally, all the stuff that's just recently been put on the internet, it's false information. So I'm not going to get into it. I mean, I'm going to do a video on it just to help people understand where we're at with MTI and why we can trust MTI and why these articles out there are basically just to try and derail MTI. And I personally know some very, very big network marketers who have been in the space for a long time, very successful, earning millions of rands a month from these different companies, and they hate MTI because they've seen many of their people leave to come across to MTI purely based on the fact that with MTI, everybody wins. And that's one of the reasons I'm super excited about MTI. I mean, I'm making a really good income from MTI, purely based, even if you just look at my investment side alone, besides the referral side. But any other network I've been involved with, it's been a very, very difficult journey for anyone to make money. And basically you're chasing money to buy products or whatever it might be monthly for anyone to generate any type of income. With MTI, you come in and you park a little bit of Bitcoin here to be grown, you'll benefit. And it costs you nothing. There's never, ever a fee. As well as the fact that if you do decide to look at the referral side, everything comes from trading profits. And you're not chasing everybody. So everybody wins here. For me, and Lawrence Harsbrook, who's been in that space for 16 years, and he's literally earned, he's used to $100,000 a month incomes, okay? So it's not new to him. Literally, he doesn't need to build MTI, and he's actually not, because he doesn't need it. He's financially sorted. But he said to me, if anybody, MTI is the best vehicle he's ever seen in his life. If they are doing what they say they're doing, which I know that they are, and Usher knows that as well, this is the best vehicle that you will ever find online. And for many reasons. For the fact that there's no fees, that everything comes from trading profits, the integrity of the people behind it, and the space that we're in. Being online, being in the Forex market, $5.3 trillion a day industry, all these things add up to be positive. So the last thing I'm going to say is, when it comes to the live trading, we were fortunate enough right in the beginning, I think it was January or February, where I woke up one morning and I phoned Johan and I said, listen, I can't. I actually sent him a message. I said, I trust you and I believe what you're saying is true, but I cannot share this any longer with anybody until I've seen the live trading. Because why? I've been in other vehicles before. where they've also said they're doing live trading, and they've shown us live trading as well, but they fudge it. And there's particular ways you can do it. You can make $1,000 account look like $1 million account. You can use a cent account to make these things look like they are what they're actually not. And at the end of the day, they're using Peter's money to pay Paul. So Johan said no problem, and he arranged a Zoom call at that time, and we saw the live stream trading. And the big thing there was he showed us the history. So I'll never forget it. I handed it over to Lawrence, my mate, because he's more technical when it comes to the trading side. And he said to Johan, listen, do you mind showing us a history? Because that tells the story. He said, look, you don't have to if you don't want to. And Johan just went straight to the history, and he showed us the history of the trading. So yeah, so we know that there's live trading taking place. We know that the software program is running on the platform. There are particular ways you can know this. So we know that it's actually happening. And we know that it's been done with integrity. So, and then since then, I mean, obviously there's been quite a few people that have seen the live trading. I know I said that was the last thing I was going to say. This will be the last thing. I managed to arrange a call. There must have been about 90 different leaders all around the world that we got on the call. People, all they wanted to know is how we know that the Bitcoin is safe. That's what that Zoom call was about. And it was basically, I put it together because we've got the opportunity of like knowing Usher and knowing Johan and knowing what's going on. A lot of other people out there don't. And on that call, Johan Kruger and Johan Steinberg were on the call. It was purely about the safety of the Bitcoin. During that call, Johan says, Pete, I just want to show you guys something. And he's tapping around his computer and he starts sharing his screen. And the next minute, he's showing us the live trading. 90 odd people on the call. Johan knew that there were some professional traders on that call. So once again, all I'm trying to say is his transparency. He's always wanting to be transparent. He has got nothing to hide. Yes, we're going to have some bumps along the way. That's reality. Nothing comes simply and easily. But I truly believe if you guys do plug in, I mean, you've got Usher Bell, who's probably one of the most integrity, he's full of integrity. That's who he is. So he's certainly a person that you can trust. Jaco, incredible gentleman who's basically works until 2:30 in the morning to try and help us at MTI on the support side. So I'm truly, truly honored, and I thank you guys once again, Usher and Jaco, and I can't see who else is on the call here. That's part of the main frame. But guys, you're in the right place at the right time. And I always tell people, we run webinars 6 days a week purely to educate people. And I'd never go on as long as I have right now. But to try and help people understand what you've got. With MTI, basically growing your Bitcoin, when you understand the power of that and the fact that it never ever leaves Bitcoin is huge. So once again, Usher, I've done a video which I can send for you to show people, because a lot of people don't understand that. Normally they say, well, if you're trading on the Forex market, you've got to convert from Bitcoin to dollars or pounds, whatever, to trade, and then you go back into Bitcoin. It doesn't work that way. The uniqueness of MTI, trading on the Forex market, so that Bitcoin remain in Bitcoin all the time is huge. And why it's huge? Because like the other day when we had that big move in the Bitcoin price, if you had made huge profits in dollar, and at the end of the day, you still got to go buy back into Bitcoin, you can actually lose. And there are other companies out there that actually, they could be legit, but I'm not quite sure yet. But I wouldn't be with them purely because they actually take the Bitcoin, they convert it into dollars, they trade whatever profit or loss they make, and they convert back into Bitcoin. It's a very dangerous thing to do, because if you do get a quick move in the market in Bitcoin, you actually lose. So yeah, we're in a good place. I'm really excited about MTI. I'm really looking forward to an incredible future. And I think this is a powerful, powerful company that's going to go places. And that's me.
Pete, just from my side again, just a question I want to ask is, we got one question is, can you elaborate on how the security works with Bitcoin in cold storage with a broker?
Sure.
And what the relationship agreement is with the liquidity provider, the broker and MTI, with regards to the conversions from fiat to BTC, and what conversions takes place.
Okay.
Can you maybe just elaborate for us on that? Because I've got another question after that for you.
Okay.
So yeah.
Just on that one. So if you're trading Forex, so let's just say I open an account with the Forex broker, just like MTI have. I mean, there's no difference, just besides the fact that they've got a corporate account. I've got an individual account. When I open my account with the broker, and these specific brokers allow you to trade with Bitcoin as a base currency. There's not many brokers that allow you to do this. So this is where it's very unique. So normally what would happen is you'd send, I'm in South Africa, I can send my rands or I can send Bitcoin to them. Most of them accept Bitcoin now as payment. They then hold that Bitcoin in cold storage. All right, it's basically held in cold storage purely for a security point of view. And they would have an RT division that would take care of it. It's a simple process. I mean, holding Bitcoin in cold storage means you've got a dongle that you connect to your computer. When you receive the Bitcoin, you send it to your dongle, you unplug your dongle, and that's cold storage. So it's basically holding your Bitcoin offline. Now, on your Forex, so you've now sent your dollars, your rands, whatever, the Forex broker will say to you, what base currency do you want to use to trade with? All that means is when you're doing your trading, on your trading platform, so you've got your Forex broker account, which is like your online bank account. You can actually see your balances. Then you've got an MT4 or an MT5 platform where you actually do your trading. If you've got $1,000 worth of your, so just one step back, if you choose USD as your base currency, your balance will always remain in USD, even if you send them rands or if you send them Bitcoin. On your MT4 platform, your base currency, in other words, all profits and losses, it doesn't matter which pairs you're trading. You can trade, even if you want to trade Bitcoin or Litecoin or US dollar against the pound, whatever it might be, your base currency will remain in whatever base currency you choose, whether it's dollars or pounds or rands if you've got a South African broker, or if you choose Bitcoin, it's bits. So there's 1 million bits per Bitcoin. So if you send them 1 Bitcoin to fund your account, your account balance will show as 1 million bits before you start trading. So now you start trading, it's in Bitcoin, because obviously that's what MTI have chosen. They've got this incredible opportunity, which wasn't available, I don't know, maybe a year, 2 years ago, you couldn't actually do this. You've now got bits as a base currency. So now you're trading on the Forex market. You're trading, just say for instance, you're trading one pair, the pound against the dollar. You take your trade, you buy or sell, whatever it might be. Just say for instance, you make a profit, the market goes in the right direction that you thought it would. Now your profits are in bits. So basically it stays in Bitcoin all the time. At the end of the day, the Bitcoin, whatever profit and losses you made, remain in bits, okay? So if you haven't traded before, it's a little bit difficult to understand. Once again, Usher, I've done a video showing this. I actually opened up my own trading account with the same brokers, showing how the trading works, showing how it remains in Bitcoin. It's a very simple process. It's not technical. There's no need to take it from Bitcoin to dollars to fiat money and then back to Bitcoin. There's no need for that. So that doesn't happen.
So Peter, the question is also, can you explain again how the currency stays in the form of Bitcoin? The thought with many people are that it's traded in fiat currency, which is not. It's traded in fiat currency and then it's sold at the end of the trading day and converted into Bitcoin.
No, it's not. I know a lot of people think that, but it's not. And Bashar, I think the best way would be for me to send you that video. And then if anybody wants to watch it, they're more than welcome. It really is. I show my back office account. It was a small account, it was $600 something. And then I show my trading platform, and you can actually see it trading in bits. Everything's there. And that'll help people understand how it works.
Pete, this is an interesting question from somebody. I mean, I've also got ek kan my mond ook uitspoel oor hierdie vraag, but I mean, I believe that the US president is anti-Bitcoin. And how do you see that impacting Bitcoin in the future? So that's just maybe I'm asking that question. Maybe you can just think about it. But this is the question I'm asking. My personality, in the sense, I'm very risk averse. Yes, I've been involved in a lot of networking marketing companies. I always make a joke, but it was the truth. When I was Standard 9, I started with Adrian Nieuwoud's Vrot Kibus milk in 1985. It was a Vrot milk that you had to produce or whatever, and then you send it for Average Lane or for skincare products. In any case, that didn't last long. That was when I was 17 years old. And then I did a lot of other companies. What struck me, the question is, what because I was in the inner works of MTI, I saw the process, I saw the money flow, I mean, everything. And the more I looked at it, because we had this panel of the senior advocate in commercial rights, you know, we looked at the Ponzi and we looked at what is MTI. And the more I looked at it, I said, but how can something so simple, because the power lies in the simplicity. And the more I looked at MTI, I said, but what is unique about this? And the sense, why didn't I thought about it? But what is the power for you behind MTI? Because I am physically not a network marketer. I don't like hype. Listen, kry julle 5 en julle kry 5 en 5 en hulle 5 en dan gaan jy. Because I mean, that's why I don't classify as a network marketing or multi-level marketing company, because it's not a product. We have to buy something where there's commission embedded in, which will pay the upline. This is not the case at all. With MTI, it is purely, it's the first company I get, and it's not because I'm advocating it because I know the CEO. It's the first company that the CEO, hoekom sal 'n CEO vorentoe kom en homself blootstel, you know, to the world, if it was Kwansai's a Ponzi, in the sense that I look at the model, I see it's very simple, it's very powerful. You don't have to recruit any people. There's no package deals, yearly annual fees and costs and all those things. What will you say? What would you say is the power behind MTI as a business model? And because, sorry, just one last thing is because I want to follow the product and the services, and then the network follows me. And that's what I find. I really don't chase the money. If it's purely just from an investment point of view, even if you get 2% a month, 3% a month, 1% a month, just from an investment point of view, I'm with companies that I get 7 or 8% a year, right? Yes. We've been taught, we've been brainwashed, and especially in this industry that we are in, it's not a conventional, normal investment industry with Forex. Totally. I mean, I sit with Forex guys that saying, listen, 10% or 8% a month is nothing. We're earning, if you know what you're doing, between 60 and 70% a month. Yes. Is that the truth? Can you just elaborate a little bit more, keeping in mind that the Donald Trump question?
Yeah.
And
no, look, Trump, I think with the Donald Trump question, we can see already what's happened around the world. I mean, Donald's got a certain amount of control, but he hasn't got all the control. So he might say something, but I don't think it's going to affect, you know, I don't think it's going to affect the Bitcoin price. We can already see an adoption happening with the movement into Bitcoin and gold and silver, especially as well as a hedge. I think Bitcoin has proven itself. There's a lot of, Bitcoin's not a scam. There's a lot of scams in and amongst Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is not the scam, and I truly believe it's got a long way to go. I mean, the guys we're involved with are talking about it going to $100,000 next year, and there's good, look at the speculation, but there's a good possibility, and they're giving good reasons why. But whether with MTI, to me, I've never ever, like I mentioned earlier, and really it's not to try and sell one. Johan could quite easily have an attached a $10 a month fee onto having your account. I mean, like that's one thing. He could attach a small withdrawal fee, a small deposit fee, a small internal transfer for fee. You know, there's many fees he could have attached, but everything is free. So that's one huge thing for me. I got a guy who owns a wealth company that came on board. Purely, I managed to organize a Zoom call with Johan. When he was in Durban, I was sitting with him next to him, and I had this Zoom call with this friend. He didn't want to get in the call. He said, I've got 5 minutes, Pete, I'm busy. We ended up speaking for half an hour. He had his partner onto the call as well, purely based on this. The first question you asked Johan, he said, Johan, what's your payment structure? MTI take 10%, 90% gets paid out. Yes, okay, some of it goes to the traders for their services and all the rest. But 10% goes to the company, 90% goes out. I said, I'm in. Based on a certain principle of his, that's why he got involved with MTI. I mean, he's brought a lot of people into MTI, not based on that anymore, based on the results and knowing what MTI can do for people. So for me personally, from building I mean, I started, I think I've introduced 60 odd people personally, of which probably 8 of those are my direct family. I've now got about 6,500 people in my structure, and every one of those are benefiting. So I would say maybe 60% of them have decided to do the referral side. The other 40% are just parking their Bitcoin in there, and they're all going to benefit for free. I mean, where do you ever get that? You take your money and put it in Allen Gray. Even if Allen Gray were giving you 20% a year, you're still going to be paying your monthly admin fees. You're still going to be paying your chunk when they do pay it out to you. If you withdraw early or cancel your contract early, there's penalties and all those type of things. With MTI, you've got access to your Bitcoin at all times. And I tested the system properly this week. I've got a lot of money in MTI. And even with the negativity going on, the guys were pulling some of their Bitcoin out, panicking or whatever. We saw it dropping a little bit. I said, okay, I'm going to do some big withdrawals. And I did. I did one on Monday at 11 o'clock. And 9:30 that night was it was the quickest withdrawal I've ever had. I've done about 26 withdrawals. Most of them take around about 12 hours, just a little bit less. I did a big withdrawal. It was just under 2 million Rand worth of Bitcoin. It was in my Bitcoin wallet at 9:30 that night. I put it straight back in. A day or two later, I withdrew it again. Same thing, back in my wallet. So, you're testing a system like that. You know it works. The internal transfers, you can, if you've got family or friends, we've got our daughters in Australia. I do an internal transfer to them. It happens immediately, and it costs you nothing. It's free. So
I'm seeing a few questions here, which I would like to answer as much as close and as accurate as possible. I'm just going to read 2 or 3 questions. I'll give my answer, and then you can just top it up and assist me. So one of the questions is, suppose that the SA authorities decide by their own definition that MTI is a scheme. Could they close the business down? And if so, what would happen to our investments? Other one is, why is the trading platform being kept a secret? Can they not declare it in writing that they are trading daily with X amount of money in MTI's account? I just quickly want to say, because I was involved for a short time as a COO, all these questions, the shocking thing for us is in our discovery, as we worked with legislation and with the regulatory bodies. Again, in that time we have, was it a panel by mekaar gesit, which one of them was a senior advocate or still is, the MTI lawyers. My own lawyer was involved. The senior advocate in specialized in commercial rights were involved. So the whole discussion was, the first thing that we must understand, what happened with MTI. This is a phenomena. It is somebody that has started something that has never ever would have fathomed that it would have grown to a 2 billion within a year or 15 months. So what we must understand is that this company, and I'm not defending it, I'm explaining it. This is also not information that it is a fact as it is from MTI. It's just coming from Usher as non-official. But the way I see this is that this company is already in the air. This Boeing is already flying. All right. So I remember in January month when it was 300 or 500 Bitcoins still in the account. Suddenly, if you have 100 million, 50 million, nobody asks questions, 100 million, but 2 billion, suddenly there's a vergrootglas on you. Who's Johan Steinberg? Baie mense wil die kleur van sy onderbroek weet. I mean, it is crazy what they want to know. And rightfully so. People are asking because of their investment. The funny thing is that how many people are putting pressure on it, but the more I tell them, take your money and leave. When in doubt, go without. Because there's 2 things in MTI. It's fear and it's greed that we need to look after. But the fact that this Boeing is already in the air, how do you fix it? So number 1 is, you have to have solid leadership. You can't sit with a 2 billion Rand with a company, not Rand, Bitcoins, company with no leadership. This is one of the positives that happened. They did appoint leadership, 2 non-executive directors, Johan, that is the CEO, and a whole management team. So you cannot run a company without leadership. So the second thing is, this leadership's role is to establish you've got the bread, you've got the concept, you've got the selling force, which we are, call it referral marketing through that method of marketing. But you need to have the systems, which is the corporate governance. You need to have the CEO, the COO, the CFO, the CIO, the office bearers. You need to have all the rules and regulations. It needs to be regulated. Although Bitcoin is not currently as an asset class or seen as a financial instrument like gold and silver and houses and property, and it is in the deregulated space, we're sitting in a regulated environment. Because why? Because you are taking other people's money or Bitcoin. Al het jy piesangskille van hulle gevat of jy hoenderpote van hulle gevat, it needs to be regulated. But this is the thing. This is our discovery. The regulators currently, at the moment, they do not know what is Bitcoin. We had a professor highly in the financial industry. They told us on this panel, you need to get this guy on your side. He's highly recommended and he's brilliant. And after our two consultations with him, he said, sorry, he cannot help because as he do not understand the fundamentals of Bitcoin. We get advocates that do not understand Bitcoin. Waaronder val ons? Who is MTI? Val ons onder die woekerwet? Val ons onder die dobbelwet? Where do we, not MTI itself, but this kind of industry, where do we find ourselves? So to this point, that MTI will be and must be the answer to partake in the writing of this new legislation. I've had not inside the information of people sitting with the Reserve Bank. So the fact is that we need to go, I mean, there's already been 2 meetings, I think, with the FSCA. The FSCA itself think that network marketing is illegal. But then what about Amway? What about Manatech? What about Herbalife? What about Sportron? And all those, all those legal network marketing companies. So this is the kind of the battle that we sit with. Just remember, people, that compliance, this is my personal opinion. SARS and all those people, nobody's going to close MTI. Why? There's a lot of money to be made. Yeah. This is not a small and medium enterprise. This is a big boy enterprise with a 2 billion. So they're going to get their hands on a lot of money. This is an economy for South Africa. It needs to be regulated. It must be regulated. It will be regulated. And apart from that, is one important thing that I want to mention, Pete, before I just give to you, is that there's one thing I want to say with corporate governance. Compliance is going to take 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
The success with this is the leadership. The success is going to be communication and proactive and being involved. And all the other companies I've been involved with never, but it nooit hierdie pad gestap nie. So the fact is that this platform is not being kept a secret. Corporate governance must be put in place so that you can see who's all the directors, who's the CEO, who's the office bearers. So the secret, just be the previous broker, I mean, you can imagine, and we cannot imagine it. If somebody phones from Carnarvon of hierso van Piet sonder wat sê, "Ai, hoor, ek ken julle vir Johan, het hy 'n stukkie van my Bitcoin down." That is what literally happened.
Yeah.
One of the things with the previous, so it's not being kept a secret. You don't walk into FNB and ask them where's their service. It's just one of those things. And this is the thing with our, sorry, Pete, with our industry. It is too dangerous. I don't know where my money is in Stanlip. Where do they invest it? I don't know where this and this is, but yet we want to know all these questions. I also want to have the same answer. For me, it is not being kept a secret. For me, currently, it can fall under artificial intelligence or intellectual property, or for some reason that we need to put a trust into to understand why do they do not want to reveal it at this stage.
Yes.
I know that there's a lot of brokers like Liberty, wie jy onderskrywer, jy weet jy kan daar goeders vra, but I think for this stage, I would like to see, to give them at least August and September, MTI, to see how they perform in the sense of this corporate structure, and then revealing the answers that we do want on the right time. Because I'm very sorry to say, guys, I love everybody. and I'm in this call myself, but I don't trust, if I don't trust one group, it's network marketers. I don't trust them at all. They don't have guards in front of their mouth. They don't know how to keep quiet. I know this is our industry. This is our, this is ons industry is so. We need to get information. We need to keep our people calm and collected. And I understand that. But I'm telling you one thing is that networkers, I'm saying that 60–70% part of problems is networkers and the messages and the fear goes out. I'm not talking of MTI itself. I'm just talking in general. So we need to, one thing that I did learn is I need to trust the process. Because ons is nou hierso. Be careful of fear and of greed. Trust the process and build your business in a sensible way, not chasing money. My own's at $50, $100, whatever, you know, and try the system and see. So Pete, what is your take on what I've been saying?
No, that's awesome. Very, very wise words, Usher. And you hit the nail on the head. It's exactly as you say it is. You know, just quickly with regards to, you've touched already on the authorities shutting the scheme down. It's not a scheme, so they can't shut it down, and they are engaging with the authorities. So it's not as though they're trying to hide from them. They're engaging with them, and they will know what is going on and what they need to do to protect MTI and all its members. So there's nothing to worry about there. With regards to the broker being a secret, you already touched on that. The fact of the matter is we know for a fact that it doesn't matter how many times, initially everybody knew who the broker was. And I think that's played a massive part in actually moving away from that broker, because everybody was contacting them, emailing them. I know people that actually phone the brokerage. So you must understand, this is a brokerage just dealing with billions and billions of dollars or Bitcoin, whatever. The MTI is just not even a drop in the ocean, really. Look, they're a big account, but they're small compared to all the other clients. Now you've got 120,000 members, and let's say 10% of those people are contacting the broker. They eventually get totally over it. And that's the reason why they try and keep the broker information under wraps. And I've got no problem with that. And one last thing on that is trusting the people. So like Usher's already said, it's trusting the process. We are fortunate enough to know that if it was a one-man band, if Johan Steinberg said, guys, I do not want any corporate governance set up, I do not want to be transparent with the live trading, all that, I would be running a mile. But the fact of the matter is that he's been so transparent. He's set up this corporate governance around him of some very knowledgeable, sharp people, as well as being transparent with the live trading and all that. That's what we've got to trust. We don't have to worry about which broker is being used and all those type of things, because we know they will make the best decision when it comes to that. And that's why we've got to trust MTI rather than anything else.
Yeah.
Around.
Pete, there's another question. How's the total volume of Bitcoin insured with the brokers in any way? And then can't we ask MTI management to communicate better whether there's a negative report like the Global Crypto Report recently? It takes so long to defend the integrity that we all believe in. Now, this is one thing, again, I want to say. If you report, I lost all my respect for the media.
Yeah.
In totality. And I'm not talking of crypto, the global crypto platform, but I've lost my my respect in a lot of ways, for a lot of reasons. But yes, when that article came out, it hit me, and again it put doubt in my heart. Not with MTI, but again it put doubt in my heart, and I said, "Ag Jesus, Here, wat 'n storm gaan ons nou nog moet wat ons gaan moet tackle?" So the one side is we need to expect and understand we can expect these kind of storms that's going to happen. The second thing is, if an article comes out like that, we need to give, which I understand now, we need to give time to the management to see what it is all about and to then respond. We cannot respond after, I'm talking of we as if I'm in MTI management. I'm not in MTI management, but if I take my own companies and my own leadership, we cannot respond to every Tom, Dick and Harry that's writing anything about MTI. But to classify and to qualify, this was a serious article because it touched about the broker, and which they did respond. I don't know, Anton, which is asking this question. Anton, we've got the official reply from MTI, which is a brilliant reply regarding this global crypto report just recently. Maar dit slaan vir jou en dit slaan vir jou hart en dit slaan vir jou seer en dit is nie lekker om dit te sien nie. Regarding the total Bitcoins and the insurance of the Bitcoins, this is one of the things of corporate governance. You need to have keyman insurance. Keyman insurance on Johan itself if he dies or with a sickness. Keyman insurance on the trading team, and then principal seat insurance on the Bitcoin itself, which is part of the corporate governance. It's a must for a company. P2I Limited by law, in the sense that it's got to have these structures in place, and the outflows of these structures is the insurance of your Bitcoin itself. And I know, personally, I think the only company that will be able to insure this kind of funds is Lloyd's of London. You kan nie net na Absa toe gaan or whatever to say insure these funds, because you need to have a big umbrella that can be able to insure these kind of funds. And for myself, this is the things that we were driving when we were there, and I think all those processes is in process. I cannot say anything else because I don't have the answer to that, but that the fact that Johan agrees on it and that it must happen, is a fact. Also, getting a second, third, fourth bot. Guys, we're sitting with a business of 2 billion only dependent on one bot. If the bot stops, there's no business. So the fact from a risk mitigation point of view, you need to have one bot that's trading oil and commodities and doing arbitrage, whatever the case may be. So they are really looking into that as well as having, you can't only have one broker, you've got to have at least 2, 3, 4 different brokers to mitigate the risk. And they are more than well. And I know that one of the non-executive directors has been very high up in the corporate industry with Discom itself, being I think also a director of it. So we have to put our trust in the fact in this leadership, but also asking the right questions. And please don't let it stop you from writing and asking questions on the support at my MTI club. We are all in the same. I don't have special. Ek het nie spesiale toegang tot enige iemand nie. We see the leadership there, and we got to ask these same questions that you guys are asking us. We have to keep on continuing because that's part of our business. That's part of the risk that we are managing is reputation. And Pete, you so rightly say, ek trek elke week Bitcoin uit. Elke week. So if I take out 50%, I buy new coins with it, or I live off it. But you're right. So part of the risk in MTI is reputation, and also program reputation. And the fact is that the fact that you are getting paid is is one of the risks that's being addressed. Guys, look, I can take my money out anytime. I can put down anytime, or my Bitcoin. That is part of good reputation with MTI, and you've tested that.
Big time. The one thing on that, Usher, is even though you're in trade, so when you fund your account, it automatically goes into your trading pool. So now it's getting traded, and every day it compounds. Even though it's in the trading pool, Wednesday, you want to pull some out. You go in, you pull it out, and you do your withdrawal. So you're not even locked into a trading pool. That's what, to me, that's like remarkable. And there's no penalty.
I want to tell everybody the questions or the answers that we give. If I would have been in the audience, there's a lot of things that I would want to know much more. And maybe you are not satisfied. Again, I want to say, when in doubt, go without. If you want to build a business, build it slow, build it small. I say to people, if you have 10,000 Rand in a bank, you want to try $100, which is 1,700 Rand, try it with MTI. Take the 10% out and try it with MTI. That 10% will outgrow your 90% in the normal bank. But build it small, build it steadily, but build it.
Yes.
And give. I must say that is where I was wrong when I was in the leadership management. I grabbed a lot of loose things where one of the guys, Tom Fraser, is from TWF Consulting Group. Go and look up Tom Fraser. from on LinkedIn. You can see it from the TWF Consulting Group. He is a consulting group which Johan, as a CEO, confides in and really trusts this consulting group leadership. He's 62 years old, Tom Fraser. He's well polished. He's very professional, highly professional, and he's been part of the leadership structure where they have put down the blueprint plan for MTI. Maak nie saak wat 'n mens alles sê nie. You have to sit with your own business. You have to make your own decisions. We are just merely saying what is our experience at the moment. And ons wil sien dat hulle presteer. Ek is baie bly dat die leierskap is nou aangestel. Die management is aangestel, die officially non-executive directeur is aangestel en hulle moet nou hulle self bewys. Hulle moet presteer. En we can keep on putting that healthy pressure on them to perform.
Yeah.
So we will make this recording available. If there's any other questions more, Pete, anything from your side to conclude?
Just one thing where Marinus asked about I know you really touched on it, but the Bitcoin being insured. When you fund a Forex trading account, it's up to the Forex broker. It's in the contract for them to take care of the funds. So if you send in them dollars or pounds or rands, they need to secure those funds. They have to be very responsible with them, and they got to cover them. As likewise with the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin gets sent to them. As I've mentioned before, it gets held in cold storage because that is the safest way to hold it. It's their responsibility to hold it, all right, and protect it. And I've got confirmation from various brokers is they've got very highly skilled IT guys that actually take care of the Bitcoin. So there isn't a concern about losing that. The only risk we have, and this cannot be insured, is the actual trading itself. So the trading, obviously profit and loss for the day, that can never be insured unless you pay. I don't think you could ever get insurance for that. It would just cost you too much to insure any trading on the Forex market. But in saying that, with the strategy that this particular software that's running at the moment and the money management of the trading software is so incredibly good that it mitigates the risks in a huge, huge way. So, and that really excites me because, I mean, really, I stopped trading Forex the end of last year, purely based on the fact that I don't need to trade anymore. I don't need to wake up in the middle of the night sweating and looking at my phone and watching my trades go into massive drawdowns when I've got a company like MTI that actually can do it for me. And to be very honest, it's the first time I'm consistently making profits every month and I'm not trading myself. And it's such a relief. I trade now for fun and that's really, so I mean, I'll go a whole week without trading, which is fun.
So you trade for fun with your Bitcoin profit, or with your MTI profit? Listen, guys, I really, Pete, I want to thank you so much. This is our heart on this platform is really to discuss cryptocurrencies in general, but also MTI, and to ask all the hot questions. If we don't have an answer, we're going to knock on the door until we get an answer. It is our business. We are MTI. So I want to thank each and everybody on this platform joining us. Again, this is with Marinus, my brother, on this platform as well, and Gerald Lassen. Every Tuesday and every Thursday, they've got a mastermind training session for leaders. Everybody is welcome. We'll give that times through. We'll give Pete's recording also. We'll set that available. As well as, guys, I'm all about regulation. I'm all about the taxes. What is going to happen with your Bitcoin in general? The new legislation that's coming out within 12 to 18 months. Apart from that, apart from MTI, I'm involved in a lot of groups of information that I would like to bring to the table and teach and educate each and every one. Doesn't matter if they are in my team or not. One of my passions is to enlarge the footprint of cryptocurrency, enlarge the adoption rate of cryptocurrency. Because it is a free market system, it is decentralized, it is peer-to-peer, it's taking the hands out of the central control. make sure there's going to be a lot of battles regarding that. And we want to teach and train about different coins. Yeah. So I also want to introduce you to the platforms that I'm using, paid platforms of mentors and advice about cryptocurrency in short, in general. But I've seen that we've run out of time. So we will, ons sal vir julle laat weet oor die leierskapsopleiding. I've sat in last night with Gerald Lassen, and as he said, I've got a few golden nuggets out of it. And I realized that they want to build fast, but I want to build slow, but build, we're going to build. And this is an industry and a platform I need to get used to online. And I'm going to build it steadily with a good conscience and not being fearful, not being greedy, and being part of the solution. And then also, but introduce you guys to the cryptocurrency world in general. Also the legislation again that's coming up, also the taxation regarding cryptos. Is you're going to be taxed, guys. It is a fact. Don't run away from it. See MTI as another income stream, but there's a lot of ways how we can legally hoe jy jou belasting kan uitwerk. But it's coming our way. And rather being prepared, want wanneer jy slaan oor 12 maande of oor 2 jaar, dan weet jy nie wat om te doen nie. So this session is all building up to a conference in February in Stellenbosch, where we're going to have all these brilliant speakers from all over the country, training and teaching us on all the different topics I've just been mentioning. As well as MTI will have you on there, and Pete there, and Gerald Lassen, and Marinus to be presenters as well. So thank you very much. Look out for Tuesday and Thursday nights, and then Friday, standard Friday, every morning at 10 o'clock. We'll send out the different topics. So we'll have another guest speaker on next week Friday, and then I will give us all the information that I do have, to my knowledge, with the past 5 years, on which platforms to join. Want baie ons weet nie waar moet ek, na wie moet ek luister. There's so many voices out in the crypto field, and also a lot of scams. Who can I listen? Who can I trust? Hoe weet ek wanneer gaan die prys opgaan en die prys afgaan? We've got excellent mentors, brilliant platforms that you will really love, and that will just bring the balance into your decentralized world of crypto. Pete, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you to each and everyone that's joining us, and we'll make this this recording available, I think within an hour, 2 hours. Okay.
Okay, good.
Pete, will you will forward me that recording of yours that you said?
Yes, I did put it in the chat, but I'll send it to you now on WhatsApp.
Okay, cool.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks, eh?
Bye.
Thanks, guys.